Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Family Reels. There it is. There it is. Yeah. Applause.
Okay, I
Applause.
like that. I like that.
So we are starting what I am going to call our Comedy No Carrey. Our Carrey No Comedy.
I like that.
Carrey
Which
No
is
Comedy.
almost impossible, which is, if we
I
think
don't know.
about them,
This one kind of made it work.
what I mean is there's always some,
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's
even
just that kind of
inadvertent comedy because it's him, just because of how he plays characters. But yeah,
So
we did our best.
basically,
We're
the
doing our best.
challenge for the month is to try. We're trying to find a Jim Carrey movie that is not a direct comedy. Like Mom was saying, there's sometimes he just can't help himself.
Yeah,
but it's not, the movie itself is not a comedy.
correct.
And you're up first, Mom. Like what did you pick?
So let me just first give a little foundation as to how I came about it, because one night I was up by myself, and I don't know, it was a night I knew I didn't have to go to work, and I was just like, forget it, I'm gonna watch a movie, which, as you know, I don't be watching movies by myself. That's not what I do. But I was just looking around and I saw it. It was I think it was at the time it was on HBO Showtime. And I came into like the middle of this movie and I was just like stuck. Because it's like immediately you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And so I watched it from that point to the end, but I had vowed at some point I have to see the whole thing to see how this came to be. So
Right.
yeah. It's a little crazy.
Order though, because when we were in the group text talking about it, I asked you if Mark Ruffalo was in there, and you said no.
I know.
I didn't realize that either.
You're right.
What is the movie that we're doing?
It's called The Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. I finally got it because I kept on flubbing it, and now the title makes sense. Kind of now that after seeing the movie, because usually those kind of titles, well, in a way, those kind of titles are so abstract, but it's like it actually was indicating something. I think
it was still pretty abstract and artistic.
Yeah, it was. But the title, what?
I don't understand the title at all. I'm just gonna be
Spotted
honest.
Mind, like in Eternal Touch.
White Cliff.
Spotless is usually. Oh my God! I just figured that. God damn it.
See?
Okay. All right, fair enough. It's still whatever.
So fair enough. Do you want to do the synopsis, or you want me to do it?
I want to do the synopsis. Okay. I can quickly sum it up.
Can you?
Yes, I can. So pretty much this is sort of a love story. And it's sort of a sci-fi-ish love story. You wouldn't think that by just looking at the cover, or I'm not sure what the description said on it, but I'm sure it didn't sum it up exactly that way when I read it before. So it's a sci-fi-ish love story. Okay. That's all I can say about that.
Okay, I think that's a good one.
I can't disagree.
I mean, can you think of a better way to describe it?
I can't think of a way to describe it. Like, if somebody asked me what this movie was about, I was trying to explain it to Kiana this morning, and I couldn't do it.
Blank stares. Wait, it says on Google. It says, damn it, where did I do? I just lost it. Oh, it says
old lady glasses on.
Shut up. Wait, hold on. The movie, not the book. There's a book, believe it or not. I mean,
that makes sense.
But
before the movie,
that's yes, of course.
Well, I know.
That makes me want to. That makes me want to kind of read the book.
It's probably better. The book's probably better.
This movie would that's the thing. I have no interest in reading this book after watching this.
No, I love this kind of stuff. Actually,
always get like deeper. Well, I know that's probably why you don't want to watch it or read it, because it'll take you into a.
I don't think you like very much metaphorical stuff.
No, I don't mind it, but this is just like basic. I mean, based on the movie, I I don't see this explaining it any better to where I'm going to still enjoy it. That's what I say. Like,
Okay, so this is what it says. It says after a painful breakup, Clementine, which is Kate Winslet, undergoes a procedure to erase memories of her former boyfriend Joel, which is Jim Carrey, from her mind. When Joel discovers that Clementine is going to extremes to forget their relationship, he undergoes the same procedure and slowly begins to forget the woman that he loved. That's the basics of it. But if you just saw that, you would not ever guess what the kind of stuff
that's like, okay, what procedure are we talking? Lobotomy?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at first too. I was like, they're gonna lobotomize them, like, but it gets weird.
Yeah, weird is an understatement.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, not just him and her, but even the
everybody, everybody around them is weird.
Kind of wild.
Wow.
He spins off into a subplot that just like,
you're like, what?
The subplot blew my mind too. I was like,
as soon as it happened, I was like, wait, because there's two subplots. That's the thing.
Yeah, there are.
It's like neither one of these is necessary because only one of them kind of amounts to something, and the other one doesn't. Well, yeah, one was. The other one wasn't. The other one was just weird.
I don't know. It kind of made it. I don't know. It gave it a lot of things instead of just focusing on one kind of a one track kind of thing. I like that it had the kind of.
It gave it.
It needed it, I think, because otherwise it would have been boring.
It was already so.
It still is
out there.
Okay. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
That's the thing, like, because the way one of those subplots works is I thought there was going to be a villain of this movie. There wasn't. It just turns out that there wasn't.
I didn't think that when I first started seeing it.
I thought it was.
I thought it was going to be a quirky love story.
Like I think I can see where you're going with that, where because of certain things, the way they came, it seemed like there might have been a force that might have been at play that took this, like, other than where it was supposed to go, per se. Like, especially with him, like, it seemed like he was going through a different experience. Like, it wasn't supposed, like, something went off the rails or something like that. I kind of see that. But, let's
it's the type of one where the story unfolds backwards.
Or does it?
Like, well, because you'd be like, what the hell? How do we get here?
Yes, like, no. But yes and no, because to me, what it did was kind of bookended. It kind of presented the end in the beginning and then kind of took you back, but it bounced you back and forth while I
was confused at first. I was very confused and I was getting pissed a little bit. I was just like, man, don't piss me off, right?
Still confused.
Yeah, it was off the chain. It was.
I got the hang of it. I got the gist of what was going on.
I have the word confused all through my notes just to describe how I'm feeling. Like,
I couldn't even take notes for like the greater portion of it because I was like, look, I can't even.
And I told her because she likes to write like super detail in her notes. I'd be like,
I know, I've
little
seen
statements like, okay, this is happening. And the bigger picture, and then that way I can remember, and then I can kind of fill in, certain stuff while we talk about it. For the
most part, your notes should just help you get to where you need to be.
Okay, but I don't know what's important or not, so I try to take it. Look, this is how I am in school too. I have no idea what's important, so I'm gonna just write down everything.
All right, who's gonna lead this thing? Because I don't know if I can.
I remember how it started off.
Okay. It
started off with the main character, well, one of the main characters, which is who Jim Carrey plays. His name is Joel. Yeah, and he gets up, and it's him getting ready. He goes to work. He goes to the train station.
Wait, but you got to remember something. See, this is the important part.
Oh, he was talking about how he just broke up with his girlfriend.
But when he went out to the car, there was a note on there that said "Thank you," right?
Yeah,
and he had a big old friggin' gash in the side of his door.
He put the thank you note. He ripped it out of his notebook, and then he said, "That's weird. I don't remember doing that." Later on, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
ripping a page out.
Right,
So it's kind of confusing at first because it highlights things and like it's gonna come up, but you'd be like, why is that important?
I didn't even notice.
See? You didn't notice? So he had already had a dent in his car.
No, I believe you, but I'm saying I didn't notice it.
Yeah, that dent was there there. So so remember, he's on the train platform, getting ready to go to work.
Finish.
Oh, go ahead. What?
So it does start with the finish.
Yeah, and he's like, all of a sudden, because he's doing that narration thing in his head.
Yeah, I got that
and
part.
And he decides to ditch work, basically.
To just go to Montauk, and he called his job.
Running. He called his job. He's talking about he didn't feel good and all that stuff.
It's all outside. They probably hear the wind and stuff.
It was like, well, I tried to get there.
He was like running, just like real crazy, because that seemed weird that he was just so, like, what is happening here? And he goes to this beach, and then basically based on that narration that he's saying, he starts talking in his head, and remember, he goes back from there, goes back to the train platform. Is that where he sees her? Or
no, he sees her at the beach.
He sees her at the beach.
He sees her at the beach, and that's when he says, why do I get, what did he say?
He said, I wish I could meet new people, but I can't because I can't even talk.
He said, why can't I talk or around beautiful
girls
women?
Because he can't make eye contact, basically.
Yeah, I can't make eye contact with, with beautiful women around or whatever. So he sees her on the beach, and then he goes to the diner.
And he sees her there, and she pours alcohol in her coffee and stuff.
Yeah. It's called an Irish coffee, Jonna.
Is that what that's called? Okay.
Oh, I'm just saying what she did. She poured alcohol in her coffee.
Oh, she got an Irish coffee. Sure,
she poured alcohol in her coffee. Just take it like that, okay?
I will not.
So try to correct me.
He was still very shy to say anything, and while he was in the diner, he saw her there and just was all,
And she noticed him. She
did notice him. She waved at him, right?
Yeah. I think
she was like trying to get his attention and stuff like that, but eventually it cuts them back on the train, and she's sitting a little distance from him, and she's just like, she decides to worm her way over. She's like, it's all right, if I sit closer or whatever, trying to talk to him. Then she sits in the seats right in front of him, starts talking to him, and she's kind of like coming on strong.
What's so funny? This is how I wrote my notes, right? Because in this scene, she's not only coming on strong, but she's like, her levels are going. She's like bipolar in the whole conversation.
Yeah, I don't know for sure.
I thought this was gonna have to do with her bipolar disorder or something.
How I wrote it was Joel meets this crazy girl on a train, and then she puts her name. So I crossed it out of like Joel meets Clementine on a train, because it was like she was like, oh, you don't have any jokes about Clementine? He was like, no, and it's almost like she was upset.
And the other thing that before that, what I put is before he sees her in the diner, he was pondering his love life. That's what I put, because he was saying, maybe I should just go back to Naomi. She was nice or whatever, because
which is good. We don't need anybody else in this movie.
Yeah, we didn't need to. But what he was saying, it was like he was afraid, so he would rather go backwards than to try something new. Right.
That's a real thing too. That's a real thing in real life.
So I said she strikes up a conversation with Joel on the train, and that's when he finds out her name is Clementine, and then she tells him, don't make any jokes about Clementine or whatever. And he's like what? I wouldn't, that's a beautiful name. She's like, yeah, like Huckleberry Hound. He's like, Huckleberry Hound. And I realized later that was a side effect of the procedure, because how would he forget Huckleberry Hound?
Yeah.
Holy shit. See, and this is why this movie needs more structure, because I am missing
but they put it, it'd be like forgetting things,
Right. But it's like, I'm literally missing things.
You weren't focused. That's what. You weren't focused.
It's not that. It's this movie is so distracting, man.
It is. There's a lot of little things, and it's so kind of sort of out of order, and it makes you like.
Then, like, he basically gives her a ride home, and they have a drink. They talk a little bit. She starts talking about getting married. And all this craziness.
Yeah. She's like, "I'm gonna marry you."
He was like, "Oh, okay," and I knew he was like, "All right, Best I better be hitting the old dusty trail. Like, no,
he's probably a little frightened.
He said, I'm supposed to be, writing something. She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, then, like, she does the thing. She gives him the number. Call me when you get home. They talk. They set up this psycho date.
Oh, then when they go out on the ice
is like the middle of the night.
He's all scared. He's like, I think I heard a crack.
I don't know. I don't want to fall in or whatever. And she was like, I'm not going to crack or break. And then you see them laying there in a big old crack.
Not me. Not I. Talk about a picnic and all that stuff. Like, no.
He's scared as hell.
Wouldn't you be? She was like, the lake gets frozen over. That doesn't necessarily mean it's not thin ice. You know what I'm
so mad. I knew people like that.
I don't know. All I know is don't invite me to nothing. Don't invite me to your crazy white girl shit. Like, I don't want no parts of that. I don't want any parts of your crazy white girl shit.
Yeah, no, that's definitely that on steroids, okay?
That's all it is.
She was off the chain. And she was like, have you ever seen did you ever see Woo? With
I was like a baby.
And the thing was with him, she was just like doing all kind of wild stuff. And he was like so like
Tommy Davidson, right?
Yeah. And he was just so like super like, definitely not on the wild side in no way, shape, form, or fashion. She was just taking him way everywhere. And that's how it feels. It's like he's so like, I stay within my little boundaries.
But you know what?
Like, let's go.
All movies do it, and only that way. Like, how many times have you seen it where it's like the dude's the crazy, adventurous one, and the girl's like super reserved? It's always like a wild, free-spirited woman.
I feel like I have seen it in something.
You got to show me because I don't think I've ever seen it.
I think I have. I just can't think of it.
I know. I feel like I have seen it on something, but
I don't think I have. I think I've only seen it that way, where it's always some wild, free-spirited hippie woman with her hair color.
I'm trying to think. You know what? No, the movie with what's the dude that was from Black Panther?
Sure.
No, the dude from Black Panther that played Okoye's husband. Which that movie with him and the other chick, and they were running from the police.
Clean and Slim.
It was kind of like that because she was more stuffy and whatever, and he was just like, "Girl, you need to kind of, you know what I mean?" And
was it to that degree? You know what I mean? Like,
not just like to that degree.
That's what I mean. No, whenever you show it to those extremes, it's always like this crazy, over the top, free spirited woman, and then some like, and he's never like a stuffy dude. He's just like super reserved.
Yeah,
he's not like, oh, I don't do that. He's just like, I'm scared.
Well, I guess because they can play. I think men doing that role is better because it's maybe it's more believable too, because what it's playing off. It's playing off the women and being all the things that people like to say, being indecisive, being all over the place, yada yada yada, but putting it on steroids.
One thing I'd like to did anybody look up what year this movie came out?
2004.
2004.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that might say something to. I mean, you're coming out of the 90s. No, you're coming out of the
something. What is it?
You're coming out of the 90s, and it's like it's a lot of women wanting to be like their own person and not wanting to be held back by a man. So she still wants to be free spirited and do what she wants to do.
And that was like a trope in the 90s, especially for sitcoms with multiple people, because you always had the one woman who's just like, ooh, I'm crazy. Like Friends. Phoebe was that one. She was over the top.
Exactly. Just out there. Yeah.
Like all those things that you're not
super eccentric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eccentric.
AKA cray.
Crazy. But then, so I counted 18 minutes into this movie, we get opening credits.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
It was weird. I was like, wait. I was like,
what is it? Took a while.
I watched when that happened,
movie.
That was after they came back from the lake, right? And then then you get when she gets no, and then he goes and drops her off. When does he go? Because then he ends up.
Oh no, because what happens is she goes to drop
Oh,
her
they
off.
goes to her apartment.
He's asleep, and she's like, "Oh, can I go to your house?" And she goes to go get some stuff. And Elijah
before that, more importantly, he goes to her apartment. That's the part we missed.
That's where Elijah Woods shows up.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, but that was
her off, and she's
like, "Oh." In the daytime, in the nighttime, he goes to her apartment first. That's when he sees all the potatoes and all that.
But that is when Elijah Wood comes out. It was at night.
Listen. Time out. That scene was when he dropped her off from the train.
No,
when he sees all that stuff, he goes to her house.
He was waiting for her to get the toothbrush.
Y'all don't even get what happened. This is after the. Listen, hold up.
No, y'all didn't understand this movie at all.
No,
you didn't watch it.
Hold up.
Listen,
let me tell you what went down.
He called her.
No, let y'all go. You had your turn.
Hello. This is before Valentine's Day. So I remember because this is after, it seems like it's after, right after it comes off the ice or whatever. And he drops her off.
No, you're right. That's what I'm saying. You're right.
Okay. And then she's like, "Oh, hold on. Let me go in the house or whatever." He's waiting there in the car. And that's when Elijah Wood, I forget his name, Patrick,
his name is Patrick in this. No, you're right.
Okay, so I want to tell you how my notes go because I was writing it as it was happening.
Yeah.
So let me say it. So I'm gonna say. So this is what I said. Clementine is cray. Now this is after the train and all that stuff because he gave her a ride then too and just dropped her off. Then, Then he goes back. He goes to her. Oh, she lets him up. He goes up there, and I said various potatoes. With all the different things like she had like potato heads. Then she leaves. Then because she gives him her phone number while he's at her house.
I know we said that already.
Yeah. So when he gets there, he calls her. I pretty much said he calls her pretty much as soon as he gets there. He tries not to, but he does. So he gets home. Then she says, "Oh, let's go." That's when they go to the lake. And I said the lake that is scary. She says the ice won't crack. There's a huge crack. LOL.
Yeah, we got all that.
Then when they come back from the lake because she was asleep.
That's what we just said.
And then she said, that's when she said, but I'm saying he had gone to her apartment before that. We missed that.
No, he did. But at this point, I think
I'm saying the potatoes are something significant because they do pop back up.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Damn potatoes.
Potatoes. But well, she tells him specifically she wants him to call her on Valentine's Day or whatever. It's been Valentine's Day. She's like, "Call me." And so I think
she goes to get her toothbrush. That's when Elijah Wood comes up, knocks on the window. And then he's like, "Can I help you?" And then it's kind of like when he saw who he was, he kind of reacted like, "Oh," and he kind of like just walked away. Which, of course, was weird.
He was like, because he said that he was like, "I don't know what you're asking me," and he's like, "Oh, okay." He just rolls up his window like, "The fuck is happening here?"
Right. And then all of a sudden from there is when they see the scene. And that's when the credits come and he's crying in the car.
Yeah. And I was just like, and you know what pissed me off is because we don't get a time card. You know what I mean? You get the 1 year later or
right. No, you have no idea how much time has gone.
All of this happened before.
Well, the way they do it is like clip after clip after clip and don't even separate it in any way. Like sometimes when you fade out, you can tell there's some time between.
Yeah.
The next, so then that's irritating. When it goes to him at his friend's house, his friend and his friend's wife or whatever, his friends. And then, he's like, and he's talking about.
No. Before this, it cuts to them, him going to the library.
No, he explained that before he showed it.
No, he was talking.
Oh, he was explaining at the same time, huh?
Yeah. He was telling them what happened. He's like, "I don't know what's going on." And I saw her at her job and she acted like she didn't even know me. And some young guy came in there.
And they don't show his face.
They never show They never show his face.
But you know who it is. You could tell what Elijah Wood's head looked like.
I didn't think it until later. I was like, I didn't even think about it at that point.
I knew exactly who it was.
Well, that's the thing, because even when he was explaining it, when they showed it, they didn't really show a person. They were really just like, "Oh, she was there with some young guy," and they just showed her. So
yeah,
and they showed his head, his hairline.
See, you must have had a special cut because they didn't show it. They just showed her.
They showed the back of him too.
No, there's a part later that shows that, but not right
here.
Yeah,
but not in that part. They show the same scene later.
I'm telling you, I knew it. That I was like, why are they blinking?
One, Jonna, you're out.
Anyway, so he says that, and then they go to the scene where she literally is like, "Can I help you, sir?" Like, okay, let me know if you need help. And then
that's,
like,
that's when they don't show his face because it's like blocked by the computer and stuff like that.
The plants.
Weird because kind of in her face, it looked like she was being spiteful. So it was hard to really tell what was happening. I was confused.
Yeah.
She didn't just look like she didn't know
remember,
who
her whole temperament was up and down and all over the place.
Yeah, she's an abrupt kind of person.
Yeah, definitely.
She cuckoo cray.
So then when he's talking to them, the guy is just like, you know what? Then he's about to show him something, and the wife is like, why are you gonna do that? Okay,
can we talk about something? Yeah. Because it's just like it's weird and it's confusing even more, but I like the transitions in this movie because when he's telling the scene or whatever, he's in it, and then he walks from the library. He's like, I just walked out, and he walks.
That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool shot.
Back at their house.
Yeah, he walks back in their house through the door, and I don't know. I just kind of like those transitions.
Yeah,
that was a pretty cool shot.
But then, but that's when you start seeing, okay, this is kind of weird, like different. This is some weird stuff.
I thought this movie might have been like the adaptation of a stage play or something like that. I was like, what is happening? Like,
yeah.
Because it is weird because he does tell him, he's like, no, I gotta tell him, and she's like, don't do it now, and he's like, no, and he gives him this thing which is addressed to him, but he never gets it.
No, it's to them. It's telling them. No, it's telling them.
Oh, it was like being served, like serving somebody
to people that she knew.
That's
and it's saying, do not talk about Joel Barris to her. She has, erased him from her memory and doesn't want to,
And that's what's so stupid about that whole thing is because if you don't want anybody to talk about him, something should be done about the person she's trying to forget because all he's been doing is
knock him off.
And they just walk around pretending like he's not saying
kill him.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't make any sense. Like it just they don't have to kill him, but he should be something. I don't know, but it doesn't make any sense to be like, hey, whatever you do, don't talk about it to Joel. And it's
don't talk about Joel to her. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you're not supposed to talk about Joel to her, what about Joel? He's stalking her essentially. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I know you. Why are you acting like you don't know me? Like, he's gonna
right.
Because I would like you're being a real asshole right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird.
Exactly. It's definitely weird. Definitely. So, and that's where it gets crazy when he sees that that's what she's done.
He goes to do the same.
Basically, he's like, "Oh, okay, fine."
What is it called again? What's the place called? It was.
I don't remember. I didn't even write it down because it wasn't important.
Well, I was just confused because you couldn't even tell what it was. It was called something or whatever, and it didn't make you think. Like,
my thing is, he seemed confused by when he walked in there and asked him, like, "Well, you just erase people's memory, all this stuff." But it's so weird to me because this company just seems like it's just out in the open.
Yeah, like it's a normal thing. That's why
hiding. You know what I mean? There's just like, how do you find out about it? It's not like in Hitch where it's like word of mouth. It just seems like people just like, hey, I need my memory erased. Because that one lady was in there to forget her dog.
He was like, yeah, we are busy this time of year. It's Valentine's Day.
It's so weird. And then we get Kirsten. I keep calling her Kristen.
Kirsten.
It's Kirsten.
I don't care. It's trash because she's garbage.
You just don't like her.
I don't.
I tell you this.
She is.
I liked her better than Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, because she wasn't in it nearly as much as she was in it.
Well,
her best movie is Jumanji. Like, let's
she's good in spots where she can just, develop that little part.
She's a child actor.
It's like when she was in what's that one? The one with Octavia
Spencer and
Sounds like The Help, Mom.
and Cookie. What's Cookie's name?
Taraji. What movie are you talking about?
The one with Kevin Costner when the spaceship.
Hidden Figures. Hidden Figures.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh, girl. Anyway, but she did good in that.
Because she was in it, I probably was like, nah, I'm cool.
Because it doesn't. But no, she played a good role because it was a concentrated little role, and she played the role she was supposed to play, which she was slightly Southern and had some of those preconceived things. So she was slightly racist, but not a total douche, but kind of found the error of her ways along the way. But I'm saying,
well, that's what I'm saying. My thing is she was good as a child. Like, even though it's not a movie I like, she's good at Interview with a Vampire. She's good in Jumanji.
What happened to her?
She grew up, and she just didn't let you ever figured out how to act. It doesn't work for everybody. Like that. What was that? The kid? Well, it was a child actor. He does stuff now, and he's on things. I don't remember his name, but he's bad now as an adult. But there
was some that just don't translate well. Like they had something else. They were a cute kid. It worked out, and then they grew up, and it's like, huh?
Yeah. I think for most people, the best thing to do is take time off, or you have to work consistently enough to where you fill in the gap.
You just kind of flow in, and you actually are allowed to grow up.
Yeah, like Raven Simone was constantly working, where Keisha Knight kind of had a gap, and then when she came back, she was great. Because,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think some people just work, some people just doesn't. Maybe it's a black thing. Well, Neil Patrick Harris, he counts.
Yeah, but he took a break. He did.
That's what I'm saying. He took a break.
Yeah. He took a break and he came back grown.
Yeah.
And when you come back grown, you got to be selective about what you do to make you solidify yourself. You not take off goddamn clothes and stuff like that, but you got to do something of quality that lets somebody know, like him, especially with How I Met Your. But did he do Undercover Brother before that?
Yeah, he was doing stuff before that.
Yeah, Undercover Brother though, he was the greatest.
All right, we got sidetracked again.
Anyway,
thanks to Kirsten Dunst.
Anyway,
well, he's at that doctor's office because you hear us talking about doctor. She's got on the scrubs and stuff. Well, the coat, white coat.
I don't like her attitude.
He's like, doesn't fit her.
I need to talk to somebody, and she was like, "Fill this out." He was like, "No, I just."
Well, she's being this. I know how it is.
She's got bad etiquette.
She does.
That's people in real life who do their job and that's it, and they just be like,
right back in her face and be like, "I'm walking."
Even when it's life changing things for other people. So I say, so basically, after he goes and talks to the doctor, he tries to get some information about Clementine, and he's like, "I really can't tell you." But what did he say? He said, "I can't really tell you anything," but he did basically tell him she decided she
wanted to move on, is what he said.
Wanted to move on, right, and wipe you from it. So basically, at that point, then he just, he kind of was like, well, then, I want to erase her from my memory,
which is such a reactive thing to do in the moment.
It's like, fine then.
Which is also not based on how this movie portrays him, not in his character.
Right.
Just do something.
He does an impulsive thing, which he normally wouldn't. But that also portrays how hurt he was, and it was like that thing.
Well, if somebody was mad enough to try and erase you from their memory, honestly, I'd do the same because that would hurt.
Honestly,
and I don't want to forget.
I'm not erasing nobody because when I see him, I want to be able to say something stupid to him and they not know what I'm talking about.
He didn't want to do that. He just wants peace in his life. He can tell. He ain't trying to start no problems.
I just want if I see her walking down the street and be like, "Whore," and just keep walking, and she won't know why. She won't know where that came from, but I will.
That's not the kind of guy he is. That's on you. That's crazy that you think of this.
She's just gonna be with her new dude, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, you know him?" And she's gonna be like, "No, I don't even know how you would say that," and it's gonna cause a rift because now he's like, "How does he know?"
Messed up.
Boom! It doesn't matter. Hey, I'm sleeping at night, baby. Bullshit. I'm not forgetting nothing. I don't want to forget nothing. I'm not forgetting a single thing, baby.
What is wrong with him? What is wrong with him?
Revenge,
both
man.
his kid. I don't know.
All I'm saying is I wouldn't let it slide. Like my rage isn't gonna. I'm not gonna
He's
erase.
like, I'm never gonna forget this.
Yeah, like who? The thing is, forgetting seems like a bad way out because now you just got gaps. Not only that has to be the thing that kills me about this is because not only are you're just not forgetting one person.
No,
Gaps in your
there are
entire
some residual
day.
things that are getting pulled in with that. Yes,
That's what I'm saying.
absolutely.
Like you have
like
days
Huckleberry Hound.
well, not even just think about that. Like he's been with her for how long? They don't really say, but let's just say at the bare minimum, some
a
month,
year.
a year,
It
right?
feels like a year.
That's
It looked like a year at least.
that's like literally the majority of a year just wiped because most of his time is probably spent with her. They were clearly living together.
Well, that's what but remember when he started the process, which I said he starts the process and it is wild.
Yeah,
they told him to gather
all her memories,
all things that are connected to memories of her, and it was literally
his entire apartment,
huge trash bags of crap,
like
that were
pictures, notes, things like that.
It's like he had no life.
Potatoes.
Yeah, the potatoes, his drawings, all that stuff. And you're right, he doesn't have a life outside of her because then he's like, all right, tell me about, we'll work backwards and such, give me the memories. And so he starts telling him, I don't know how long this would have took, but he starts telling him, and then he was like, all right, this is what I need you to do. Go to sleep. and
that's when it gets crazy because then he's like in there, he's experiencing these memories, and then suddenly he's outside of all of that, experiencing memories, but also looking at himself and the doctor.
And that's
and then the doctor is interacting. Wait, this is the
first part. I'm so confused in my notes.
So he interacts with the guy that's under the thing and him that's standing there looking at it like, okay, so what's going on? And he's like giving him the blood pressure, putting the cuffs on him and everything. Like,
I was so confused, man.
I know. It's about this time I stopped taking notes because I was like, you know what? Let me look a little bit into it so I can know what I'm writing.
This is literally the first I'm so confused note I have. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Question mark.
Yo, and that's the thing. So it just like, and it starts to snowball from there. So he's going through his memories, and you have Mark Ruffalo and Elijah Wood.
He goes home first, and I didn't know what was going on. Well, no, but he looks out the window at them, and I thought it was like them stalking him at first. Like I was just so confused how that
seemed that way.
Yeah.
So
they're trying to throw you off of what's really happening, I think. And so it's like, why are these people just watching his apartment?
It shows them quickly, like walking in on him on the floor. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
So
it was crazy.
He took a pill. He took a pill. Did they give him a pill? Because I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah,
he took them, but I don't remember if they gave it to him.
Because it was a prescription. So I think they gave it to him because they wanted him to be out.
I don't know what city they're in, but you could probably get those off
New York.
Yeah, you could definitely get those off the corner. He's fine.
Yeah, well, he must have knocked out hardcore because he was on the floor. And then they come in with their equipment and stuff like that. And I guess they set him up, and he's going through that.
Is unprofessional as fuck.
Yes.
Because they just come in and start messing with all this stuff.
But pop open some beers and stuff.
That's a real life thing. Let's just be real.
What, getting your memories erased?
I'm saying that's a real life thing with people doing a job where they don't have like hardcore somebody over them supervision.
Yeah, there's only 4 people working in this whole thing.
Yeah.
The doctor and then the 3 technicians.
Don't act like you don't know people who would just be just as
I know people.
Yeah.
What is that?
Over there, and they be
Ruffalo's hair
blood and doing everything.
So can we talk about Ruffalo's hair?
I like it.
And them glasses.
No, I do not. I love
the messy, crazy hair look.
He's cockatoo, man. He is.
Hey, I think that was popular at that time, early 2000 for white guys. Yeah.
See, and one of the problems with this movie is they don't show anyone's character with the exception of Elijah Wood, because we know, thanks to Ruffalo, that he likes to steal panties. Which the
well,
fuck?
no, it wasn't thanks to Ruffalo. He said it. He's just like,
No,
yeah. Well, he told him, but I didn't get that part the first time. I just heard him. He was like, when Kristen Dunst came in and he was like, "Oh, girls don't like me that much." He was like, "Well, wait, maybe you should stop stealing their panties."
Right, but that's
Like,
because he told him he stole Clementine's pen.
He's such a weirdo. But he's always
and then
a weirdo.
He went on to act like he didn't know who she was, and start dating her.
And that's why I thought this was going to a villain place, because there's a part down here
like when
it's hard to explain this movie without jumping all through it at this part, because everything kind of feels jumped. But there is a part when he realized where what's his name, Joel, realizes that Elijah Wood is still in his shtick.
Patrick, that was
Patrick is still in his shtick, and he's just like,
he got.
That's why I was like,
he had all his stuff, including a gift he had for her, and gave it to her.
That is why I thought. That's why I thought there was going to be like some sort of nefariousness going on. It really wasn't.
No, it's just everybody in their effed up issues.
The protagonist was truly the process.
Yes. And it wasn't. And it's like
antagonist was the process.
And there's like so much going on. Like, he's in his memories. I don't know what's happening half the time, but then they're out there just partying over his body.
Literally, I was tripping, but I don't know. There's probably some people in real life.
If I wake up and two white people are dancing over my body.
Yeah, she literally in her panties, and they're smoking a blunt, passing it over him. She's over here like stepping on him, basically.
I mean, it is implied that they had sex at some point, because she's naked,
it's implied,
and so is he. So it's implied that they have a thing going on, which makes the other plot twist like there's too much going on, and I can't keep up.
Well, okay. So let's talk about this. In this part, Patrick's like, well, before they start doing all that, stuff, Patrick had left because he had told them
call from his girlfriend.
And at first, Mark Ruffalo fully did not believe he had a girlfriend.
I wouldn't. He just told me he steals panties.
Yeah.
But then he told him who it was. That's when he started telling him, and he's like, whoa, what?
Which makes it even more like, there's no way.
He's like, I think he was just like, okay, and wanted him to leave so he could, mess around with what's her name.
Yeah.
I mean, of course he did. He was like, you're good. You good. It's one of those Fred and Daphne situations.
We'll split up. Me and Daphne will go this way.
Wait, okay. So I don't know if you ever saw, there was the Johnny Bravo crossover.
Oh yeah.
When they definitely do that joke, because Daphne's the ones doing the split up. She was like, me, Shaggy, and Daphne will go, or me, Shaggy, and Velma will go check this, and then Fred's like, Daphne.
Oh yeah.
You're right. He was like,
I gotta watch that again.
We'll check the basement, and you guys do whatever the fuck you want. Like, that's really what happened. I was like, they really played that joke, and I was like, good for you.
They knew
it.
Because it's like we all suspected.
Yeah, especially Johnny Bravo had so many things.
It's like the Greg and Marsha thing. Greg and Marsha for the Brady Bunch.
Oh, okay.
In the Brady Bunch movie.
What? Oh my! You haven't seen that?
You ever seen the Brady Bunch movie? Oh,
okay.
I don't know.
Here's what's happening. I am already declaring next month's challenge is movies based on TV shows.
Okay.
That's a good category, actually.
You're gonna watch it. One of us is gonna make sure.
I know what I'm gonna choose then.
No, we'll figure it out. Because we gotta get the order down, because we kind of messed this one up.
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, let's talk about this. So, at this point, they're partying over his body and stuff like that. They're going through memories, like, so as he's remembering things.
It sounds like he's dead.
It feels that way.
It almost is. He's like, he's not waking up. They're literally like, she's jumping over him, she's stepping on him and stuff like that.
They are drinking his beer. They just.
Yeah, they went straight to the cabinets, poured alcohol and everything, like chips.
High in his house. Like, come on, bro. Have some decorum. You're
disrespectful. Disrespectful.
That's white ghetto.
Yeah, this is some hillbilly. This is a hillbilly ass outfit, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You put a lab coat on it all you want.
Yeah.
No, but so he's going through memories in his head or whatever, and it's like it's sort of I don't know where it started with the memories, but
that's why I said it's like it's really hard to not do it.
Yeah, it's hard to. It was, it's something
so
to follow.
Yeah, this is a big part of where I miss taking notes too, because it's just like
a lot of
just like memory after memory after memory.
It starts from the back to the front, so a lot of the first memories he goes through are like arguments,
right,
like that, where he basically says to her like, oh, she says that she crashed the car. She says she totaled it, which is not the word she should have used, by the way. But so he, of course, he was like,
sort of crashed the car.
Yeah,
he's clearly like intoxicated as hell.
Yeah,
and he's just kind of like, yo, what the fuck? Like,
he's like, you could kill somebody. Like,
she's like, it's fine, and all that other stuff. And then he says something to her about her like she fucks people to get them to like her.
Yeah.
So she's just like, I'm out.
Right. And then she starts, okay, then she decides she's leaving, starts picking up all her stuff, that's in his apartment, and all that stuff. And she starts going through rooms and like disappearing.
Yeah, and he's like, because she goes to the bathroom, he goes in there and she's not there. Then she's in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's when you notice some weird stuff still is like happening here and there, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, I was like, I don't understand. It's like are these memories, or is this
it was like crazy, right? But it was just like, it was weird because it was memories.
Yeah, but
and it was like,
I think what it
was like
he's losing him. So I think that's why his memories are kind of all over the place.
Okay,
because they were extracting those memories.
And I think that's how he figured it out, because he's getting confused inside of his own memories.
Yeah, he's
so like yo, what the fuck? When did she teleport? Like, yo.
And then she's in a whole different place because she goes back in the kitchen, like, puts his keys down. Okay, I'm leaving your keys or whatever. And then when she goes out the front door, he goes after her, and it's all weird and dark, and
it's just so much. And like, it's so hard to keep it in order.
Yeah, I couldn't even take notes on this part.
Donna was freaking out on certain parts. She was like, certain things would happen. Remember when he started looking at memories, and then it was like the faces were
like of him in the doctor's office, and how the doctor ain't had no face. Well, that was freaking me out.
And I think that was that after he was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And then that's
basically when he was like, he was like, I don't want to do this. I want to stop it.
He goes to talk to the doctor in his memory. He was like, yo, I'm part of your imagination. I have all the answers you have, buddy. I can't help you. You know just as much as you know. That was so
scary. Their faces turned into not faces, just fled.
He was losing those memories. That's why I
was like that. Man, that was freaking me out.
That's what I'm saying. That's probably why this outfit works so well, is because nobody remembers them either.
Yeah. It was.
So and then it's like, and then somehow in all of this, he's 4 years old.
Okay, so what happened was somehow, and you got to realize, somehow they connected.
I couldn't realize anything.
Somehow they connected.
Yeah.
In this thing. So now they're both like, and he's like, it's the last one of his memories. He's talking to her, and he's like, I don't want to do this. And she's like, well, we just have to, try to get away from it. Let's go to, where you're the most whatever humiliated.
Can I give you my theory on that though?
Okay.
I don't think that they connected. I think that was still him. I think that was still him trying to basically, like, how, like, because I've seen movies and even comic books do this a lot, where it's like you go into your own mind, you meet a version of yourself just so you have somebody to talk to and bounce ideas off of.
Okay.
She's the one who's important. She's here.
Okay.
I don't think their minds crossed. I think it was still just him.
Okay. Think about it this way. I don't think their mind crossed, but okay, this explains why he forgot Huckleberry Hound.
Yeah, no, Mama said that earlier.
Yeah. But that's where it kind of makes sense why he would forget.
You see, earlier when they had met, in that beach, whatever, he was singing that. So he did know that.
She did
that
say,
"Oh My Darling" song.
She was like, "Oh, you got any jokes?" You mean like Huckleberry Hound? And then he was like, "Yeah, I used to love it
Oh
when I
my
was
darling, oh my darling." Yeah. So it's like he did know
that's
that
where he
at
was
some point.
explaining they first met on the beach at a some kind of function.
Oh my God, you cracked the code, Mama. You just figured it out. The reason he doesn't remember Huckleberry Hound is because he took himself to a memory that deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Idiot. An idiot.
Yeah, he went
discovering this. Oh,
that's why he was saying like, "Oh, my life's not very eventful," because he doesn't remember any of the eventful things because he went there and they got erased.
Yeah.
What an idiot. And what an idiot. What an idiot.
Dang, man, this goes too deep. My head hurts.
See, but you know what? This is one of those things where if this had a little more structure to it,
well, I think what happened
such an
what
artsy
movie, didn't do,
I would like it.
What it didn't do, like say movies like this, when there's a place that something happens, they usually highlight that. They'll say like it's like whatever it is, like what's the movie that has a place that they did something, like Total Recall, for instance. They highlight the place you go to, whatever the name of it was.
Total Recall essentially has the same premise of erasing the mind, and he goes back because he remembers it. But no. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I think they didn't do that. And I think that was on purpose. It was like they wanted everything to seem like it was in routine. You know, it's like, I just went to this place, got the money.
Yeah, but that's where it becomes really abstract.
Yeah, because he starts at some point. He essentially is just like, fuck it. He's like, if we're gonna, I mean, we're going out. We might as well just spend some time together and some stuff. So they go back and they go to their first date memory, like I said, at the beach and stuff like that. All the while in the real world, by the way, I'll never understand why they do this. Why is Kate Winslet American in this movie? Why can't she just use her accent?
I don't know.
Hold on. Didn't know. I thought she was pretty American.
No.
What?
You did not know she was British.
She didn't play. Did she play British in Titanic?
Well, nobody really did. They were all like snobby Americans, so they had that.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing I can reference her by is Titanic because that's the first thing I see her.
You just recognize
but she's British. She's British. She does a pretty good job. She's not one of those obvious ones that go so flat to try to, do it. Hers is
actually better than, especially Benedict Cumberbatch. He has the worst one, I think.
Cumberbatch.
Him and Hugh Laurie. And Hugh Laurie has done it for so many seasons on House.
I think
he does the same thing. He talks really slow.
Oh yeah, duh. I remember
all the time. That's
your favorite House.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He used to do that on House, and then Benedict Cumberbatch does it. And
but I liked it.
Strange, you just talk slow.
I don't like Cumberbatch accent, but I do like House.
First off, don't disrespect the man. Call him Cumberbatch.
He's Cumberbatch.
Terrible.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
So basically, now they're trying to run away from the memories being erased so they can, so they're going everywhere. And that's where he ends up going to the childhood because he's like, oh, there's a place. And they get off his brain map.
Did we pass the part yet about the drama?
He opens his eyes.
Oh yeah.
He goes like this. And he's like, let's see if this works. And he's like, it's working. He saw himself laying down and he talked.
That's when this whole thing just goes off the rails. And Ruffalo's like,
now they're freaking out.
He's like, oh my God, I'm so stoned. She says it 17 times. Stoned. That is like.
Hey, I use that word all the time too. So
just say you're high.
I like saying stoned.
You know why?
It sounds better.
Because people were stoned, like literally to death. It's such a weird word. Like,
it sounds weird saying high because that sounds bad. I'm high, like.
It's weird because I've always done it this way.
I think it's because when you say stoned, it's pretty much almost always associated with weed. Where if you say high,
you could be
it
anything.
could mean some other stuff.
I don't know. I just know if there were any black people in this movie, high would have been used.
Or you say baked. I'm baked.
Or
baked. Or like in Half Baked when he was like, "Smash men."
Yeah.
But yeah, so
okay. At what point do we get to the part where the technicians drama and the doctors drama?
That's what we're talking about right now.
He opens his eyes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He opens his eyes.
And then he notices because something
the
something
happened. It's not really clear. He's just like the little
things are
beeping the right way or something.
No, he specifically said like it stopped erasing, basically.
Oh, it stopped.
He said it stopped.
Because they were no longer in those areas. So he had gotten off of, they called it the brain map, and he was off the map because he went to he never had brought anything from back in his childhood. So that's why he went there. And then she comes there and she ends up being like his mom's neighbor. And she was like, oh, she's like, I really like this outfit.
I wish she said that she liked the kitchen.
Yeah. And then they're like, trying to play that role and everything. And he's like really going back there,
he's trying to get the ice cream, all that stuff.
Nah.
He's in it. He's in it to win it right now.
I don't know how
when I first saw it the first time, I'm like, what the hell?
It's so funny because this is where you see very little slight parts where like the way he reacts to things is funny, but then there's this, it's like it's obviously like it's Jim Carrey doing what Jim Carrey does best, is getting outside of just being a normal character. And I like that.
Yeah.
This was still kind of like but like this is what I'm saying, and this is where this other subplot starts happening because three things are happening at once. Jim Carrey stuck in his memories, trying to hide from the memory people.
The eraser.
Then you have Elijah Wood, who is going through all the dates, and Kate Winslet just freaks out, and she's like, "I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I want. I'm so confused." She's having a meltdown for some reason, and it's never explained what happens.
No, because that's just her personality. She is just super high strung. And just out there.
But I think she knows
in this movie, it's weird.
Well, I think she knows, like, they're insinuating that there's something that she feels like she knows deep down.
But no, I really think that this is like the girl is out there just in, it's saying this. She probably is bipolar.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that like it has anything to do with him. I think she's having like weird deja vu because the dates are exactly the same.
Yeah, he's trying to be him, take his life.
Once again, if that happened, this movie would have been so much better. Because then Jim Carrey comes out of his memory, goes to find Elijah Wood, beats up Elijah Wood. To see, because I really like watching Elijah Wood get beat up in things. He gets killed in Sin City, and it is awesome.
No,
but
I think you're right. It is, and it's that feeling, and she's already off kilter anyway.
But I think she actually intuitively felt something was different.
I think you want that to be, but I don't think so.
Whatever. I wouldn't believe that there was true love, and she felt that. Okay,
I think she's crazy.
Whatever.
Yeah, I do think she's nuts.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, and then on top of that, then we have the other subplot where Tom Wilkinson's character comes in. I don't remember what his name was. He's a doctor.
He's a doctor. He's
Doctor Medicine.
I forget.
Aging Doctor Medicine. So Doctor Medicine comes in, and him and Kristen Dunst are flirting.
Well, what's his name walks out to do what? Just go to church.
No, he was getting ready to leave because he told him, I got this. You can just go. Yeah, he was sending them away.
She initiated the flirting, so she's already messing around with what's his name, Mark Ruffalo's character and stuff like that.
She and she's just like to the doctor.
She said the quote or whatever. What about him? NATO or not NATO? Forget
NATO. What did you got that World War III on the brain?
Sorry, I got that in my brain. Paranoid. Okay. No, what the heck? One of them writers, the philosophers or whatever, she would make the quote or whatever. Huh?
Plato?
No, I
it
don't
wasn't
even think it was
Plato.
Plato, but it's somebody with no, it's not even a philosopher. It's just like it's just an author that she quotes.
Right. Yeah. Right. So no, it's a book of quotes. They said it's a book of quotes. Yeah. And because he was trying to make Patrick look bad, like it's just a book of quotes. Like you wouldn't know anything about that. You're stupid.
Yeah, what okay, so this is when I was like, she a hoe. She was just messing around with Mark Ruffalo's character. I was okay, Kirsten Dunst.
That's where this thing takes the turn because it's not that simple, apparently. What happens is
there was some remnants back to deja vu or whatever. There was something there.
Okay, but let's talk about it. She is strongly. I'm just tripping off the fact she was just messing around with Mark Ruffalo. Now she's coming on strong to the doctor or whatever, and the doctor is like,
but I feel like he couldn't help that because there was something in there.
He broke his first rule. She shouldn't even be within. This is like.
True.
I don't want to say
it almost seems like he let it happen.
You can't let a sex offender near a school. That's basically what this is. Because she is too close to him.
Yeah, but it also seemed like he wanted to let it happen.
Well, I think so. You see how at first he's like he was what was happening is like now suddenly the feelings were coming through and then he had the feelings, but he was like, she wants to forget it. I want to move on. I got a wife and kids. And then all of a sudden he still have feelings too. And then she comes like that and he's trying to tell her, no, we can't do this. I'm married, this and that. But he got feelings still. He wasn't the one that initiated it. She was. Yeah. So that's when we, the wife comes over there.
She's like, just tell her. I like what she said. She was like, you can have her. You can have him.
He's already
did.
Oh my God!
And at first I was thinking, what? I was like, what does that mean? Like,
I don't know. As soon as she said that, I knew.
No, I was like,
the first thing that came to my mind. I'm so stupid. I was just like, he raped her. Like I was.
Oh my God, Jesus! I thought my joke was bad.
I was freaking out in my mouth. But I didn't realize.
As soon as she said that, I figured it out. As soon as she said that, I figured it out when she was like, just tell her. And it was like, well, tell me what? It was like, you've been erased. Sorry.
That was cold-blooded though, for her to find out like that. Like, damn.
But, this is that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, because it comes back in the end.
Oh, does it ever?
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Everything crashes around Joel, and he somehow vows to do better the next time they meet or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that's when we get his second chance, which is just the beginning of the movie.
Okay, well, it shows Kirsten Dunst's character leaving the office one day or whatever.
And she got all that stuff. And you know what? And there's nobody knows. You're just thinking it's just her stuff.
She had way too much for whatever. A front desk clerk.
She grabbed because remember she went through his stuff, and she grabbed. She didn't just grab her. She grabbed everybody else. So whoever else and sent them.
There's no way she fit all that in two of those boxes, though.
I don't know. But the fact is, well, she asked Ruffalo, like Ruffalo's character. She's like, "Did you know?" She's like, "He's like, I swear I didn't." Or whatever. He said like he thought he was tripping basically when he saw her.
What happens is she asked him, well, did you ever suspect? And he was like, once, like I kind of saw you guys laughing in a car and I waved to you and you just kind of like waved back. Giggled, but I didn't think anything of it. And that was it.
And he said he never saw her with him like that
ever again. He saw them together again like that. So
I was tripping. Crossed it off like, okay, I'm tripping. Yeah.
He took it really good though.
But you know what? Because
if you look at what's been happening at this point,
nothing would surprise you, man.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's like the whole thing is crazy.
We don't even know what happened between what's her name and Elijah Wood. They just dropped it.
No,
well, she left him.
She told him. She said she didn't want to deal with him no more, and he was on there like, "What did I do? What can I do better? I don't know what to do."
Freaking weird.
It was like, Hitch, bro, you're doing it.
He's like, "Get the away from me."
He's like, look, I even kept these panties. Oh, Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to tell you that.
That's weird.
And so at the end, yeah, it just comes right back to where we started. So we're thinking that diner or at the beach was the first time he ever saw her. But it's also now I go back to what Jonna was saying. In a way, there's something that was just pulling them back together.
No, I mean, I can see that because that has to be a thing, right? It's just like, I mean, there are worse movies that do this, where it's like, oh, soulmates kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it just seems stupid. This one actually seems better because they do the meeting, they go and they have the same date. It goes better because he's actually having a good time.
right.
So all that timidness, ghost.
Right.
So they go to this date. She gets this tape. It was like, hey, sorry, we've all been fucked with. Here's your files. And they play the tape in the car, which
and she's like, why do you want to erase him from your mind? I don't know. He's fucking boring.
She goes ham on him.
Like, Lord.
And you know what? Because even after that, and when he yells at her and she kicks her out the car and she freaks the fuck out, when he goes back to his crib and
here's what he said,
I was like, well, my thought was he saying that because he knows what she did?
Probably. That's a man thing to do. Like all of a sudden you start hating everything about a girl, although you were like, I loved everything about you.
Her didn't seem sure. He would say things like, I don't know, she's probably having sex with everybody. And I don't think that he wasn't using facts. He was saying I feel, I don't think. Because
he was definitely speaking more out of his hurt.
Speaking out of his hurt.
He wasn't just describing stuff. He was speaking out of, and then when she came, she's like, okay, fair enough. But then
it's so funny for the hair part that came out when he was just like her hair color. She thinks that's what makes her different or something like that, and she's not. She's like, and he's like, I really hate her hair color. He's like, no, I love it. That's a lie. I love it. And then he kept going on.
But that speaks to your point. It's like he was speaking. He was angry when he was saying a lot of stuff because he was full knowledge that she had just decided to erase him.
And that's why I was like, what she was saying was how she felt. What he was saying was how she felt about what she did.
Right. And then to be honest, what she was saying was how she felt in the moment because she's so sporadic.
Yeah.
Any other moment, it could be any different thing. So the movie made the point that she is extremely impulsive.
Very
so
much.
There's that.
Yeah. And then, I mean, pretty much he's just like, he basically was like, I don't mean any of that stuff. She was like, but I'm going to get bored and you're going to be this and all this other stuff. And he was like, okay. And
we'll deal with it when we get there.
And that was it. And that was the movie. That was it.
You don't know if they really tried to make it work still.
All I know for sure is that they tried.
Yeah.
Because he was like, wait.
But I think that was all it needed to say. Because the bottom line is, this is where the reality dose comes in. There's no magic when it comes to relationships. And the fact is, at the end of the day,
no magic. You mean there's no glass slipper? I don't have to kiss a sleeping girl?
No, son.
This is crazy.
That's not how it works.
Somebody needs to tell Kiana.
But I liked the story because I mean you don't know, like it seemed like he was trying to make a tip. You could go where you want to in your mind of how this goes on after, but in my mind I'm like, they try to make it work and they make it work this time.
See, and this is the thing. This is a fine concept. It was just a really weird way to get there.
Yeah, I agree.
But
it's not the worst way to get there because I don't know if you guys have ever heard or seen of this movie called Skyline. It's an alien movie. They take these.
Who's in it?
The only person I know is Donald Faison is in it.
I don't know.
Other than that, nobody I could care about. But anyway, what happens is this couple, they get abducted closer to the end of the movie or whatever. I don't remember if it's even the end. And they get their essence taken out, and their essence finds each other again. And I was like, this is stupid. This is absolutely.
I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but when it works, it doesn't work here.
I believe in soulmates.
Like, what was that movie? The Tom Cruise one works.
When he kept dying.
Yeah, that one works.
Yeah, I like that one.
Movies that like that where it's like, soulmate stuff works.
Yeah.
This doesn't work for me that way because it's got 17 plots and all kinds of crap happening, and I'm still confused, man.
I'm trying to think back the movie. I feel like I'm all over the place.
To be a resolve per se. It was bringing people back to a realization that they knew what happened.
That's why I don't like these like artsy ass independent-esque movies, man.
I like that. The artistic, you use your own interpretation of what you think might happen next, or what really went down.
Wait, time out. So this is Super Mario Maker? I gotta make my own story?
Huh?
I was like, so what happened? So this is like a choose your own adventure book? I don't have time for that.
When you go to a museum to look at a freaking,
but it gives you what I'm saying, the more you can infer what most likely will have happened, but not
I don't want to infer anything.
But like, you think you go to a museum, you look at art, right? Like, you don't know what the artist put like something stupid on a piece of paper, right? And you'd be like, let me interpret this. Some people like that. Like, it makes you think like music when it's metaphorical, and you feel it, but it's probably your own metaphorical interpretation.
We're talking about two different mediums. Music, art, you can do that.
Same thing.
Because it's different.
Same thing.
Nope. Movies need to be direct. Don't try to make me do the work.
It's art. It's art.
That's
the
fine.
art of filmography.
But the art needs to if you're making your point, it shouldn't be super convoluted.
Or you need it to make sense.
Toni Morrison book, have you?
No. Does she have like medieval swords and sorcery and dragons and shit in her books?
Not exactly, but she does have some stuff that.
Then I am not reading.
Well, you need to learn how to use your imagination.
Are you kidding me? I just told you I read swords and sorcery books. You think I don't know how to use my imagination?
You don't, obviously, because you need everything to be interpreted for you. Interpreted.
This is why I hate movies based on books, because I'm sure the book does a much better job explaining all of this stuff. But a lot of times movies don't want to read it. Movies don't do that. Like,
it makes me want to read it, but I'm kind of scared.
It's gonna be more detailed.
Yeah, and more detail of freaky shit that's gonna like freak me out, and I can't read stuff like that.
All right, I guess we could just move on to final thoughts. I'll go first.
Okay.
I just, my final thoughts of this movie is confusing, man. It's like, I get what you guys are saying about the interpretation stuff, but it's a movie, and I shouldn't have to do that work. I'm here to just chill and watch a thing. I don't want to be, I'll do that later, but I don't want to do that while I'm watching it. Like, I still want to be able to be like, oh, this was good. And then go back and be like, okay, maybe this is what they were talking about. But so much, because like the memories, it just jumped so much that it kind of took me out of it, which is why I'm glad I watched it with the commercials, because I kind of had time to just be like, all right, let's get out of here.
Yeah. I kind of felt like that too.
If I'm going to rate this movie, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It just confused me, and I don't like it.
Would you recommend it to anyone?
I would not. Simply, I would not recommend this.
Okay.
Jada?
All right, well, my final thoughts are, I like it. I like artistic things. These are kind of books, like, if I were to read it, I'm interested in, because I like that fuck with your mind stuff, and it kind of did. I was like, twists and turns and drama, and I kind of like that. So honestly, for me, myself, and the kind of things that I like, I give this movie, I give it a 7. And also, I will recommend for people who like to interpret things in movies like this. So.
All right, Mom, it was your movie.
Okay. Yes. Well, like I said, my interest got piqued by the portions that I did see when I saw it at first, and I was like, honestly, I liked it. It was crazy, and it took you for a ride out of this world.
Yeah.
But it did make you think. It did make you want to say, so wait a minute, so are we saying that this? I mean, and then I love the subplots, to be honest. However necessary or not they were interesting, and it brought the whole thing together, because this doctor was also embroiled in a thing that had something to do with the stuff that he does. I liked it. And for me, I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Okay.
Because I liked it, and I would recommend it for anybody who likes to like stuff that's kind of a trip. That's some people like it, the diabolical stuff. So I would definitely recommend it. It's not straightforward, and I'm okay with that, but it did present something like a love story. I believe it did. It presented a love story, and like you said, Jonna, I feel like it did kind of do the soulmate thing. It's like, you know what? It's like, look how they.
It's perfect. It's perfect for us hopeless romantics.
All right, and final question. Me and Jonna, we have to answer this. Do we think that mom met the challenge?
Definitely.
I
Because
think she definitely met this because this movie wasn't funny at all.
I think there's some things that I found.
It wasn't a funny movie.
It had some quirky things that I found amusing.
I don't know, man. I felt like I was just like, I was stone faced watching this whole movie, just like,
Why do I see you watching it like?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. That was my face. That was my whole time. I was just like, yeah, got it.
It's like, what the hell is going on here?
Honestly, I think this was a good pick. I don't know a lot of serious Jim Carrey movies,
and I'm glad it's in my repertoire now.
Now you know.
Yeah, now I know.
Now we know.
Continuing on with Carrey No Comedy. I like the way that sounds. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's so good.
Carrey No Comedy.
I got next pick.
Okay.
And I already told Mom what I'm doing. And I'm even more glad that I'm doing this since you made me watch this movie.
What?
We are doing Batman Forever.
Oh my God.
With Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Yes.
Okay. It's not a comedy movie.
It's not. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss that. But yeah, that is next week's. And gotta have yours ready by next week.
Oh, I have mine ready already.
And if we don't get a fourth from our fourth, I will pick from what the fans have been saying.
Okay.
And I will just pick one, and we will judge them.
Okay.
We're gonna judge you.
Exactly. Sounds good.
All right. So,
and now back to our outro.
No. Family real. Oh.
I don't like what you're doing here. I don't like what's going on.
Family real.
We gotta end it on a good joke, Simpsons. All right, we're out of here. Later.
Hey, bye. Later.